Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Since some of you were asking about my gear and my talents and so on my last video, I figured I'd make a quick video about it so you can see what I'm using. Let's start with my gear. For my gear I am using the Dragonflight Season 2 4-set bonus, as you can see here. It's just the helmet, the shoulders, the chest and the legs. It's just really powerful for Unholy. It really helps with your burst and enhances your damage overall. It's actually the only tier set that works inside the Mage Tower. I think it's an oversight by Blizzard. It's not really intended because none of the other tier sets worked since the reintroduction, but yeah, whatever. I guess use the fun before it gets detected. Let's move on with the neck. I'm just using Elemental Lariat because it's the best neck you can use in the Mage Tower. As you can see, I'm using the Dragonflight primary stat gem, one Dragonflight secondary stat gem, so that the proc of the Elemental Lariat actually works. And for the other gems, you just use strength gems to get the most amount of primary stat. So you can use the three unique strength gems. So it's one Saber's Eye, one Kraken's Eye, where's the last here, and one Leviathan's Eye. And the other gems are just Queen's Garnet. They give the most amount of strength. I'm also using those movement speed gems because it really helps from following her and yeah, just increasing uptime, so that's why I use these also. You can also just use strength gems in here, but those are also a lot cheaper than strength gems, so yeah. Let's move on with the cloak. I'm just using the heirloom cloak with a minor power enchant. You can send your heirloom cloak to any low level character so that the heirloom cloak gets scaled below item level 50 and then apply the minor power enchant. So you get 7 more primary stat from that. I guess you just apply the normal Dragonflight Waking Stats enchant to your chest. Then for the bracers, I just use these Shadowlands bracers because they come with a socket and they're always above the Dragonflight bracer enchant threshold of 180, I think it is. So yeah, you can put another 200 speed there. And they also always come with a socket. So if you don't want to, buy bracers from the auction house that fit that category, you can always craft those bracers. For hands, I use these gauntlets from TBC. They come from the first boss of Mana Tombs. It's actually Pandemonious. You have to get them via Chromie Time to actually get them above item level 120, because the item level that you're scaled to inside the Mage Tower is item level 120. They usually drop at item level 89 if you're max level. And you can also apply the Shadowlands Eternal Strength enchant to those. And yeah, 2 gem slots. For the belt, I use the Legion crafted legendary belt, so you can mostly just buy them from the auction house if you want to drop the money on it. If you're lucky, you get them cheap for like, I don't know, 70k or something. For the boots, I use Sunstrider War boots. They drop from Kelthas, also TBC dungeon, Magister's Terrace. Let's see. Here they are. You also have to use Chromie Time, but really it's just whatever for boots and also for bracers. You can also just use the, I don't know, is it here? Yeah, you can also use these items here because this set bonus also works. I think they give you 20-something versatility when it's scaled down, so it's also not bad, and you can also apply the Dragonflight enchants for speed. But I use these because I can put the 2 speed gems inside, and I also have the grandfathered minor speed increase enchant on it. For ring, I'm using one Shadowlands crafted ring with the Devourer's Essence Stone. It's not an embellishment, I don't know what it's called right now, but as you can see, whenever you kill an enemy, skip the next part, it gives you the secondary stats whenever you kill an enemy, even if you don't gain experience or honor from it. So yeah, since you're always killing imps inside the Unholy challenge, you basically have this always up, and you craft it at item level 117. That's technically 3 item level below the item level cap, but since you always have the equip effect activated, and because it's below item level 140, you can apply the Battle for Azeroth ring enchants. It's Tenet, I think, if I'm not wrong. Tenet of Haste, or whatever. No, it's Accord. Tenet was Shadowlands Accord of Haste. And the other ring I use is North Thumb Ring. It comes from Arcray. That's a Legion dungeon. Actually, it's right over there in Surama. It drops from, it can be the first boss or the second to last boss, or whatever way is open right now. Yeah, so yeah, you start here, and then you can, if you're lucky, this is closed and this is open, and you go straight to Ivanir, which drops the North Thumb Ring, which gives you 5% more magic damage for 12 seconds, which is actually quite huge for a burst because we're using a lot of shadow damage. So Abomination Limb does shadow damage, Death Coil does shadow damage, your Gargoyle also does shadow damage, so yeah, Clawing Shadows also shadow damage. Yeah, a lot of our damage is actually shadow damage, so yeah, that's why we use it. It's basically another trinket. Come to trinkets, I use the first sigil. It comes from Sepulture of the First Ones. If you don't have it yet, you can get it now, either by joining transmog runs or whatever, or doing it solo. I think you can go to Oribos and just queue for the LFR version of the dungeon now. I haven't done it. I got it when it was current, so yeah. It can be quite a pain to get now, I think, but yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. The second trinket is Armored Elekk Tusk. That's Treasure from Warlords of Draenor. And you might be wondering why I'm using 2 unused cool trinkets. Because usually when you use an unused trinket, it incurs a 30-second trinket cooldown on your other trinket before you can use it. But the Elekk Tusk is special in that regard, and that it just doesn't incur this cooldown. So as you can see, when I click it, I can still click the first sigil, so you can use all these 3 items together. This is of course deactivated now outside the Mage Tower, but inside the Mage Tower you get scaled to to level 45. Yeah, 45. And then of course it's usable. Yeah, come to the last item. It's the Singing Crystal Axe. It's a BOE from TBC. It's quite rare, and it's also really important because, as you can see, chance on hit increases your haste by 502. It's a little less inside the Mage Tower because it scales down to item level 120. But yeah, that's basically half of the strength of the build I use. It's just insane. When it procs, it's like Bloodlust. you just get to like, I don't know, 50% health alone from the proc. And yeah, it's actually the hardest item to get, I think, especially at that item level. So you can basically forget about farming this. You won't see it. It's completely random, and if you played TBC, just try to remember when you last looted a BOE in TBC. And yeah, your best chances are just buying it off the auction house, and then you have to get quite lucky to have it above item level 120 for it to be the most powerful. For the most part, you see them at item level 92, so that's just the common item level it drops, but they can also be scaled with Chromie Time. So the item level that are really good are 123, 130 and 140. Yeah, you just have to check the auction house and see if you can get one, because this weapon is insane for time walking content. There's technically one better weapon, that's the jackhammer from random drops of the old Uldaman dungeon from Classic, but you can basically forget that exists, because even if there is one, you'll have to get a scaled one, and to be honest, it would be kind of wasted for this purpose. So yeah, let's move on with the talents. For talents, we basically just use full-on burst talents. So yeah, in the class talent tree, we just grab everything that increases your stats, and haste, well inside, death and decay. You grab those two to increase your Fallen Crusader, Runeforge, enchant. Also, you grab Abomination Limb because it's just really good for this challenge, especially. You can basically ignore the ads, and you will always cleave down no matter what you do. Also, of course, AC Talents and Empower Rune Ribbon, just because your haste is really good for Unholy, and this is just on the way. On the spec tree, you basically just go for full-on single target burst. So you grab Unholy Assault down here and Commander of the Dead down here. So yeah, with Commander of the Dead and in conjunction with your 4-set from Dragonflight Season 2, your pets will just do an absurd amount of damage, as you can see in the video. Yeah, the boss just melts. You have to be kinda lucky though to be able to do it in 29 seconds. So for the most part, it really comes down to luck. If you're lucky, you get the Singing Crystal X proc from the first auto attack and then have it up for the whole fight basically. And also your Gargoyle, of course, does more damage the more runic power you spend. And especially the last hits, if the last hits crit of your Gargoyle, they can do like 10k damage. It's really, it comes down to how much does your Gargoyle crit, how much does your army crit, and how many procs you get from Singing Crystal X. So even if you play everything perfectly, it could be that the fight takes 50 seconds and you have to follow her through the whole room. And then the next try you play, you make a few mistakes here and there, but still, since you get a lot of procs from Singing Crystal X and your Gargoyle crits like 50% of his hits, you get her in like 30 seconds. Okay, now let's move on to the consumables. You can really use a shit ton of consumables inside this. So the pot you'll use inside the challenge is the Superior Battle Potion of Strength. It's from BFA, just buy it from the auction house. If you maybe noticed from my video, you can also pop a potion of prolonged power right as you enter the Mage Tower challenge. So if you talk to her right over there, you just pop the potion right as you activate the dialogue, and then it will give you the stats for the minute and give you 10 seconds of it in the actual fight until you use your really potion, because it also resets your potion cooldown when you enter. For the flask, you use the greater flask of the Undertow, also just get it from the auction house. Then also you can use the Sylvan Elixir. As you can see, it also gives you 10% more stats. You can use it because the Unholy Challenge is considered to be in the Broken Isles. And yeah, it's basically just like food. You sit 10 seconds inside the tree and then you get this buff here, also it's increased by 10%. Yeah, then of course you'll always want to use drums for Bloodlust in conjunction with all your other cooldowns. Then for buff food you actually have a choice. You can either use the Borrelus blood sausage for main stat, or you could use the Spice Falcosaur omelette. It gives you movement speed and attack speed whenever you kill an enemy, and because you're always killing the little imps passively, it actually helps a lot with following her across the room, and the attack speed is actually just 15% haste, I think, so it's also really good. Then you can also use a Battle Shout scroll. So since you obviously don't have a warrior with you inside, you get another, 3% more attack power. Always nice to have. For your weapon, you can use the Primal Whetstone or the Waitstone if you have Jackhammer. Yeah. And then for augmentation runes, it's just another. I think they all scale down the same, so it really doesn't matter if you use like an BFA one or a Legion one. So yeah, that's basically it. If you still have any questions, let me know in the comments, and have a nice day.